Yeah, I'll start up Audacity after I open links.
There we go.
I almost didn't fire it up in the first place, so.
As we wait for live. Here, I'll put the little thing up there. There we go. There it is.
I love that thing so much.
Yeah. Let's see.
And there's one shot where you can see everything, but my friend says just how he's holding the spear.
I don't know what that's from.
Monty Python, where they have
Monty
this
Python.
this thing going, and then just a 2-minute, this 2-minute long monologue during this.
Right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Livestream. We're live. We're just hiding behind the screensaver right now.
Oh,
we
my
like
God.
it. We just like it. That's all. That's the only reason why we're hiding here. Chris is opening up links. Not the Sontarn, but web links for the various news stories we'll be talking about.
What if you were opening up links?
Well, you'd find a baked potato inside.
That'd be redundant.
Is what would happen. I'm going to hit... I'm not going to do that. I'm going to open up this. And, I have to hit... And then I have to tweet things, man. It's tough work, you know. Tough work doing it. By the way, while you're waiting, everyone, while you're filling in... here, I'll tell you what. There you go. Hi, there we are. Submit your Fluid Links questions in the live chat, and we're recording our second batch in hours from now. So, forgive me while I tweet out that we're live on the internet.
The internet, you say?
And also Toot out and Blue Sky out and Thread
That's called
out.
a skeet?
What, on Blue Skies?
Yeah,
really?
apparently it is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, so's a toot, for God's sake.
No, what? They're Mastodon's trying to steer away from.
We're tried ages ago.
Also, don't
I
forget
know, I
on
don't
Mastodon.
care. I'm calling it Toot.
On Mastodon, please don't forget your content warning and do alt text for your text.
Right.
And also, if you could recombobulate the kernel of your Linux distro, because I know you're running one.
Well, you are right in that regard.
I saw somebody describe Mastodon as the Linux of social media, and that is pretty accurate.
I think it was me, Warren. I said that.
No, it
to
was
you.
somebody other than you. So
well,
they
I
stole it
also
from you,
said-
presumably?
Well, everything is stolen from us. Did I tweet it out? Is it on Twitter? Is everyone on Twitter?
I don't
did
have
I
Twitter
tweet
on my
it?
phone anymore.
I don't
so.
remember if I put it out there.
I'm not looking.
I took Threads off my phone.
What? But that's the new hope, Warren. Threads
No, it
is
isn't.
the new hope.
Well, if you want to see what a brand thinks about something, which I do not.
Oh, I
so.
know. That's true. All I get.
Oh,
are
what does
three-
Domino's Pizza think about this political kerfuffle with George Santos?
ESPN, Crick Info, Washington Post, and Major League Baseball. The only 3 accounts that actually do threads on my thread.
I have Washington Post and New York Times on Blue Sky. Mostly getting criticized by everybody on Blue Sky.
Just filling in here. This isn't the show, by the way, everyone. If you're new here, this isn't it. We're not on the show yet.
No, this is just dribble.
letting
Pre-show
people
dribble.
Tune in. Letting people tune in. See, we give you a 10-minute head start, unlike Disney Plus, where it just sort of drops a brand new thing at 10:30 Pacific time. Chris was
no placeholder, no nothing.
No.
Not a thing until
We'll talk about that. Yeah. I don't care if Toot is officially post. I'm still calling it Toot. Still calling it Twitter. I'm still calling Mastodon's Toots because Toot's fun. It's a fun word. So I'm going to call it Toot. What's the last social network that I have to post this to? So we're not on Hive. If you're on a Hive, we're not there. Or Post.
Make sure you post it on your grinder.
No, we're not there either.
What I posted what on Grindr?
Oh, don't ask for it.
Yeah, good point.
Don't ask. There we go. We've told the world. Good thing we don't have to tell the world that we stopped it because it would take just as long. So there we go. We're not on TikTok either. That's one thing that I think we've squatted on the name on TikTok, but I don't.
Every time I think of TikTok, I get tired.
Yeah, I don't have time.
So is it from all the dancing around in your head?
No, just the very idea of it. A bunch of theater kids expostulating makes me want to just crawl in a hole and die. So I just don't think about it. It's not on my phone. I don't care. Can you believe what this TikTok star did? No, I don't know who they are. It's like whenever somebody on Twitch gets into some scandal. Can you believe this streamer did this? Who the hell is that?
You know, we could be streaming to our Twitch thing too. We have a Twitch account.
I suppose we could.
Yeah, we could.
As long as it's minimal effort.
Multiple options on our new pivot to video, so to speak. We're not pivot.
I follow one Twitch account. It's my former coworker who does Truck Simulator USA and talks in a cowboy accent the whole time. And he streams to like 5 people, including me.
Well, that's all right. Sometimes I thought I should stream my GTA, which is just me.
I've done it once.
Sitting in a hot
just
tub
to him.
waiting for people to encounter my yacht's automatic defenses.
You can do it from your Xbox.
I know you can. Did I tell you chaps to record, by the way? I can't remember if I did.
I'm recording.
Have you recorded? I'm going to record. There we go.
I have almost 5 minutes of most silence right now.
Not me. Not me. Now we're recording there. Recording.
Yes, I have dribble.
As we wait for everyone to fill in, submitting your fluid links there in the comments throughout the episode too. We're not going to read them live here, but we're going to compile them later after the fact. And
I hate it when my work email shows, and it's just Google alerts for me signing into things, and they're like, "Oh God, work email on a Sunday, no." And it's just me.
Yeah, my arms aren't too long. They are perfectly actually. Well, you know what? For finding coats and long sleeve shirts, they are too long. I will admit.
My arms are very much too long for that.
Yeah, because my
normal. I don't know.
My wingspan. I think
you're the only normal height person for it.
That's true.
That's true. My wingspan is 4 inches wider than I am tall, which is abnormal. I would have been a really good swimmer if I actually stuck with it. But it just means like finding coats is really tough. So I have to get like extra bulky ones. Fortunately, COVID has helped me with that. So now they fit a little around the middle more, as well as the arms.
Well, see, that's just the universe's way of saying, like Icarus, you can't fly too close to the sun.
Sure. Icarus.
Why did the Hercules cartoon featuring Daedalus never have Icarus? Who was Daedalus?
That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. Because he couldn't draw wings. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe next gap in between seasons we'll do a Hercules.
Well, they had what? 3 villains? They had Wilhelmina, they had Daedalus, and they had another guy.
Yeah, the mask.
Oh, the guy with the mask. Yeah,
the mask. Yeah.
And I think that was it.
Could be right.
And I think the character model for the mask, when you took the mask off, was basically Daedalus.
I think he had a beard too, didn't he? I can't remember.
I think
Talking
so,
about the old 1960s cartoon Hercules, which apparently many people don't know about, but it aired a lot on our local TV here in Alberta.
And it was a Canadian, so that's why I got shown over and over and over again.
It wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to trot out this old joke that I've been telling for 40 years. None may harm me while I wear the mask. Thump. Damn it.
Take the mask off, and we got it.
Just get a chin strap, buddy. That's all you need.
Oh, Neil Perriman's here. Hello, Neil. Because apparently I'm told that Neil has liked Doctor Who these past couple of weeks.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Is he feeling okay?
Well, I don't know. I can ask him. He's in the chat right now. So, Cat is here. We got 2 Verities. We got 2/6 or 1/3 of Verities here. The rest couldn't be bothered to turn up.
Well, they're also different.
As they wait for us to finish, so that they can record.
Yeah, actually, yeah. This is just to give you an indication, we're recording this. Verity immediately comes in afterwards to record their review. Then once they're done, we come in. I'm back in the same room recording Fluid Links, and then
in the room where it happened. And then Erica comes in immediately after me. Hopefully, if Verity finishes on time and we finish it on time, Erica comes in here, records the Doctor Who flashcast for the Incomparable, and then she has another Total Party Kill immediately after that. This is a podcast hub, folks, right here. You're looking at professional, Tardis-based podcast.
Very professional,
hub.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Is that a
hive.
Cat Santa mug?
No, it's a Meowie Christmas with a friend's late lamented cat Emmett on there.
Hello,
yeah,
Muffin.
yeah.
All right.
That's my favorite little cat. My mug. All right, what time we got here? Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling on this Sunday morning / Sunday evening / middle of the night in Australia and New Zealand? Don't worry, you'll get yours.
Wow.
On Saturday, or Sunday.
That's for enabling Avatar 2.
That's Avatar 2. I saw an ad for a video game for Avatar for a PS5.
Yeah,
it's just the movie. This is just the movie.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't even mind the second movie. It's fine. It's at least it's. You know what? It isn't a superhero movie. So there's that.
I gotta tell you, this second right now, official BBC Twitter account, X account, if you think,
whatever.
Tweeted a thing about the making of the TARDIS set. So that's awesome because
guess that's for next week.
Yeah. Oh, look at that thing. It's giant.
Does it include the jukebox or exclude the jukebox?
Well, there's no notes. It's Phil Simms, the designer, who's my favorite designer now. Sorry, everyone else who designed Doctor Who.
Michael Pickwood is. Well, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, Michael Pickwood didn't have the Disney money that Phil Simms.
Can you imagine if he did though?
It would be crazy. It would be quite madness.
Sounds like a fluid link, Warren.
Yeah. Well, I can't submit our own fluid links.
Neil Perry, it's covered in what? UK is covered in snow. We have no snow in Edmonton. It did not snow once in Edmonton in November.
What?
For the first time ever.
For the first time
That's
ever.
not a good sign.
It's
frankly.
not good. It's not good, folks. It's not good.
And I'm just waiting for the deluge to ruin my 4th Christmas in a row soon. Right around December 22nd.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll have we're hoping to have for the 4th year running to have an RFS Christmas party, but we'll see.
Okay, well, thanks. Rampant disease and
We'll see.
Snowmageddon last year. What'll be this year? Killer bats? I don't know.
Well, last time the Snowmageddon was on Vancouver's side of things.
Yes, it was. It was really stupid. And WestJet, cursed be thy name. Like Air Canada was flying out just fine. WestJet, a bunch of rank incompetence. This year, I'm flying out Air Canada, so don't let me down. Canada's national
So
airline.
it'll be the reverse this year. WestJet will fly, Air Canada will stay on the ground.
Oh God, who knows? It'll be something entirely different. It'll be like locusts or something.
Airline
Should
complaints.
have flown Porter, who probably doesn't fly there.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
They don't. Canadian airline talk. Can't believe we're leaving this out of the podcast.
Well, it doesn't take very long. There's 2 of them, and then
That's
and
true.
a bit.
We used to have Ward Air and Canadian as well. Oh, hello, Ireland. Oh, I know. There's no. Oh, Ireland is the forgotten. Here's the thing, Ireland. We watched 3 Christmas movies in the last little bit, and one was set in Scotland, one was set in London. Both were shot in Ireland, so you don't even get to be Ireland for other movies, and you don't get Doctor Who because you don't get Disney Plus or BBC iPlayer.
Given the proclivity of gingers in Ireland, does that make them the red-headed stepchild of the Doctor Who broadcast world?
Maybe. I don't know, but
Haven't given it a lot of thought, to be honest with you.
yeah. All right. Well, tell you what, kids. Keep submitting your fluid links questions in the chat as we because we should probably roll. We should get so you all can get on with your day, so we can talk about Doctor Who here. So that's all. I don't know what to say. Just like there you go. I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna Disney. I played like. Whatchamacallit, Wild Blue Yonder. There's that Indiana Jones pre-roll again. It's happening again. Wait, they're showing me the whole. No, it's just a promo. They're showing me a promo for Dial of Destiny.
Which is good, by the way.
It's good. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris didn't like it.
Chris, did you like the 3rd act twist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Didn't
I
like
loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, kids.
I don't know if I remember the 3rd act twist at this point.
you have terrible
No
taste. Anyway,
spoilers.
let's go.
No spoilers to that. Okay, everyone, get ready, especially you, Chris, because you were startled by this last week, for the show. Let's go.
Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 935. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Doctor Who is back once again. A second consecutive week of Doctor Who for the first time in a year and a half. How about that? Where we are going to review Wild Blue Yonder, the second of... I suppose they are specials because Disney's calling them Special 2. It pops up there. It's not Special 1 anymore.
And they make the rules now, so.
They 100%
They got the money.
do.
So they make
Yeah,
the
I know.
rules.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about some other stuff coming down the pipe. Will be there's recipes also, previews, Christmas specials, an update on the credits gate from last week. Not a visual one, just a quick little aside.
Of course.
A little more importance than that warrants, maybe.
Mention that as well. But first, yes, Wild Blue Yonder. David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and David Tennant, and that's pretty much it. And a big giant spaceship and a robot puppet and a horse in space. And
And a
that's
dedication to Cribbins.
And a dedication for Cribbins.
So I asked Chris last time first because we were all dying to know after 15 years of Tenant RTD stuff brewing. So I'm going to ask Warren this time. Warren, what'd you think of Wild Blue Yonder, Warren?
I liked it better than the Star Beast.
Right.
I would say I've seen people compare it to Midnight, and I think that's a fair comparison. I like the fact that it's a two-hander, for one thing, or like a four-hander, I guess, but whatever.
Right.
Essentially a two-hander. I like the fact that there's so much that could go wrong and didn't in this. Like the stuff where she's, my arms are too long. That could have been so stupid. Like, it's this close to being, and it isn't. It's actually genuinely creepy because of the way they do it. And also the way they cut it together was really cool, too. But that's getting in the weeds a little bit. But yeah, and also... you can tell there's Disney money, but it's not because it's like spectacular. It's just because they do more with what they have. You know what I mean? Like that whole corridor and everything, which they go into the behind the scenes. But it doesn't blow. It's not like a giant space battle or something, but it's using the resources they have in a very smart way, and which is what Doctor Who has always done. They just have a lot more money to do with now. So there's that. I thought the performances are great. I love what they're doing with the Doctor and Donna because both of them have, I know for the Doctor it's 1,000 or 2 billion or whatever you want to say, but for the sake of argument, it's the last 15 years. And there's definitely, especially with Donna, like some actual, I don't know, maturation's not the right word, but the development of the characters, right? And the same with this new Doctor, who is technically a new Doctor. It's Tennant, but it's Tennant with more emotional intelligence and less egomania, and it really works, actually, as far as I'm concerned. This is I'm going to kind of miss this Doctor when he takes off next week because I really like this version of him.
A lot of us are coming to terms with the fact that we were like, oh, why is Tennant coming back? Why can't we just get to shoot a Gatwa? And now it's like,
Yeah.
Why does he have to go? I don't want him to go right now. And it's kind of sad.
Also, with the body horror in this is great. Like we got some proper Cronenberg action going here. Also, it feels a little bit, maybe I'm reaching here, but it feels like the way that the Brits do body horror is a little different than the way the Americans do, or Canadians for that matter, except for maybe Cronenberg. Yeah. Like it felt really British horror comic from the 80s to me. Like that might be pulling from the Star Beast a little too much, but that's when they're those giant versions of themselves and they're all blobby and stuff. That felt like something you'd see in a comic book, right? And in this weird stuff, like Alan Moore losing his mind on drugs or something and coming up with this, like and that could have been stupid too, and it isn't. Like it is actually genuinely scary. So
yeah, when you do stupid stuff but do it well, it becomes scary. That's basically what horror movies are, really, when you think.
Well, essentially, yeah. But that's this to a T. Like they really, I think, and the whole how many times have they been on the edge of the universe? But they actually sell that this is the furthest they've ever been, right? So.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Russell T. Davies posted on Instagram that he said, okay, so I know the Doctor has, this is me reading what he says, I know the Doctor has been to the edge of the universe before and further. The first Doctor went to Quintus in the fourth universe. The fourth Doctor went to the planet of Evil. And the 13th was on board Tecteun's ship in between universes. So he did actually put a scene out.
And the 12th.
Draft 3.
And
draft.
Frontios.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, this is, I'm just reading you don't need to correct his correction.
Excuse me, I do.
And he actually had a little bit in the script about like the various things, like I've straddled multiverses, but only inside Magnificent. But he said, then I cut it because sleeping emoji, because it's boring. We don't need to know that, so we cut it. It was gone. But he also said, but still, the Doctor was thinking it. True fact. That's what.
And your average Disney viewer knows none of this and doesn't care and doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So why weigh it down with that?
You're only making references that viewers will get, not that's pertinent to the story.
Yeah, it's to make us feel clever. Well, too bad. Frankly,
I don't need to feel clever by getting a reference in Doctor Who and therefore like lording it over. That's from the censor.
Aren't I important?
Yeah, look at me picking
That's
up.
What the S
reference.
on your jersey says. Censor rights.
Censor rights, or it's the time meddler because the production code is S.
Oh,
but
God.
it's not. See, I know. Well, they put a production code joke in there.
Well, now I feel
would
worse
get
for
it.
not knowing that or caring for that matter.
Chris, your initial thoughts? Wild Blue Yonder.
Not very wild, not at all blue, and the hallways were kind of yonderish.
I suppose so. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
Yeah.
Hope. I liked it. It was, you know what I love about Doctor Who? I know you, Warren, you said that I like this one better than the Star Beast, but I'm thinking, how do you compare these two?
They're apples and oranges, for sure.
This is the great thing about Doctor Who, and I forget about it sometimes. Oh, right. Doctor Who does completely different things from week to week. You know, we had the Star Beast, which was completely different to this. And it's the same show. It's the same show.
It's a good way to sort of like, here, Disney Plus. Here's anyone who's tuning into the show for the first time. Here are the two things that we do so far.
And I think RTD mentioned that at some point, didn't he? How this, maybe he didn't. Somebody, I seem to recall somebody involved with the show saying something along those lines.
Right. Maybe. I don't know. But it's just like, yeah, it works. And, it's the big selling, well, not a selling point, but the thing that they tried to do, because it's all in studio, this one, and says, what if we just didn't tell anyone about it, like kept it secret on purpose. And it's interesting because the official Doctor Who podcast, which I watch mostly because Russell T Davies makes interesting comments in it, and he asked the panel there, was it a mistake? He says, oh wow, he's like admitting like a mistake, like was it a mistake to not say anything because perhaps by now people would have thought that Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi will be showing up for this. And certainly enough people were thinking, oh, they're keeping it secret because like Ncuti Gat was going to regenerate it. I probably thought that too. And he thought maybe it's a mistake to not tell them anything because then people will invent things in their own minds. Which
too bad.
Well,
That's
people did that
at the
anyway,
end of the day,
so.
that's our fault.
Yeah, that's true. But honestly, what could you show of this other than like, shots of Tennant at a computer panel or something? Because the only two other people in this are aliens that look just like the Doctor and Donna.
And if you show that, it gives it away.
It gives it away. So
also,
That's exactly
I got to give them credit for really good acting because I was convinced these are aliens and not them. They were they both did a great job of playing the not themselves.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah. No, it was creepy. It was really well done. I like it when Russell T Davies goes like minimal,
which won't be next week.
Which won't be next week. So I hope we enjoyed this one shot of a two-hander in Doctor Who, because I thought Stephen Moffat was very in his era. They did a few of them, like the Big Bang, which I always is still astounding to me that they went from the Pandora opens, which is nonsense, full of everything and every enemy who ever appeared in Doctor Who, and then it's 4 people at the end of the universe for most of that episode. And this one does it great, and you get to have the moments with we wanted. I'm just looking at it now. We wanted to see Tennant and Tate back together, and the best way to see them back together is to have them basically be the focus of an entire episode. And it's I think we miss him more because we've seen so much of him now,
and because so much of next week is going to be the end of this era, such as it is, and all the rest of it. You've got to get this in now if you're going to get it in. So
yeah. They haven't yet addressed why he chose this, why this face came back or anything like that, or which I'm.
But at least there was a mention of it here.
There's a mention.
But what they did address was the flux, and I thought that surprised me. That really took me. I thought they were just kind of brushing it over under the carpet, but they didn't. They're like, no, he's actually acknowledging it and working it into the thing, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only is it getting acknowledged along with the Timeless Child and other
whatever else, right?
But how quickly it got brought up as well. Like, this is only the second episode into RTD2, and there it is, right front and center.
I get the feeling they're seeding a lot of stuff for Ncuti too. Like there's bits and pieces here that are going to be in Ncuti's era.
Well, I mean, the reference to the Starbeast boss last week was apparently, according to the InVision commentary, David Tennant knows nothing about that, but Phil Collinson and Vicky Dello did. So that means that's probably happening in Ncuti's first season. So, yeah, it's a long game they're playing a little bit here. Which is, I like the robot. What I love about Doctor Who, and kind of like modern TV. Well, I shouldn't say modern TV because I think that Marvel probably airs too much on the side of CG still. But Star Wars, the series, sort of like they do have your element of virtual production and everything like that. But there is a lot that is actually like Baby Yoda is Baby Yoda with some CG enhancements, and the entire tunnel in this was CG. But the giant arms were not. I saw that, and I thought, that's really amazing CG. No, they 3D scanned David Tennant and made giant copies of his arms so he could reach in. And I was astounded. I thought that was just really good CG. No, they actually built giant arms, which was really effective.
What I found interesting is they don't have the volume. They have kind of the reverse of the volume. I think this is either Unleashed or on the YouTube behind the scenes. I don't remember which one. Where they where the actors are still against green screen, but what they do is they can track what's happening, and so on the monitors that the director and the cinematographer are watching, they can see a previs version of where they're going to be, so they can actually figure out what's happening, which I think they might have done in the prequels, Star Wars prequels as well, but
I don't know. They do it on like literally every single newscast you see on.
yeah, that's essentially what it is.
For those
the
people who
weatherman.
watch local
Like,
news,
yeah.
for instance, this is what they've been doing for years.
Whenever you saw guys, this is going to date me pretty badly, but whenever you saw a guy's jacket blend into the map of wherever you live for the weather, that's kind of what all this stuff is, except at a much higher level.
Yeah, well, I mean, like local news is all virtual sets now, probably. Maybe some of them, maybe this the occasional one isn't, but like it's just green, and like, but the person in the control room, like, they don't see green screens because it's done live. They're actually tracking in a set.
Well, they mentioned it comes
them.
from sports, because that's basically where all the you can thank advertising for this, because that's how they got all the ads on the bleachers and stuff way back when. That's an old technology by now.
It is an older technology, yeah. So, and now they're using it for proper use for Doctor Who corridors and such, and and even the big, like, as you were saying, Warren, it could have been ridiculous, like when they suddenly become really huge. And are
Easily
chasing them down there, like one of like the Doctor's eyes is like huge, and it could have been silly, but it was genuinely freaky and creepy, because it just had a look to it that was really.
It was
effective.
just enough, you know what I mean? It was just on the edge of being silly, but it didn't hit it.
Chris, have you had time to reflect on your thoughts a little more than basing it on the title of the episode, or do you have?
That's all I planned on doing, was just basing it on the episode title.
I think we should just review episodes without
in.
watching them, and just sort of like try. Actually, no, this is what half the internet does anyway. Just take the title and 3 screen grabs and try to determine what the plot line will be, and see how close we are.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I refer to it as Midnight Mark II, which there's given they're both RTD stories. They're you know,
set in confined spaces. One
simple, but brilliant idea. Yeah.
But it felt more Moffat-y on the whole, somehow. Especially the aliens being called the not things. That really smacks of like a Moffat play on words.
I did like how they're like they can't understand what shapes are. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's why they're having such a hard time adapting to being these guys.
Yeah, or that they come to grips with it as time goes on as well. And they adapt. Yeah. No, on the whole, yeah, it was quite enjoyable, I thought. I'm not sure. I haven't really put it into context of like, did I like it more or less than the Star Beast, because they're such different animals.
They are. You don't have to choose. That's a great thing. You don't
No,
have to, right?
if I had to pick,
exactly, you don't have to choose.
One,
yeah, it was enjoyable. We ended up watching it 3 times overall.
Wow.
Yesterday, just to make sure that all the nuance was observed, and yeah, there's some really, 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 really enjoyable stuff in there.
Right.
Tennant was a frickin' tour de force.
He's really good, isn't he?
Catherine Tate, I thought.
Catherine Tate is really good.
Catherine
too,
Tate was fantastic as well, and together they were phenomenal. But Tennant was just like a notch above everything else. So like a few things I noted down, like when Donna was trying to make the gravity pun with Newton, the doctor's like, "Don't do it, don't do it," and then he joins in.
Yeah.
So kind of fun there, I guess.
Yeah, he realized it's a lost cause, so I might as well make this fun. Yeah.
And then we're seeing it right now, the scene where he's trying to console Donna, and he kisses her hand, draws her near.
I know.
And says like one line, like, "We'll get out of this," or whatever the line was. When the Tardis is damaged and he's just like leaning up against it, he's not saying a word, he's just conveying every emotion.
Yeah.
When they pop out into the long hallway, and he wants to go exploring and Donna doesn't, and he just kind of just makes a few facial expressions, and then she acquiesces, and then just the little giggle, the little smile on his face. And then as the alien, when Donna's in the room with all the like the rectangle things she's refiling,
right,
just sitting there. She's talking. He's just sitting there. He's just listening. He's just, I don't know. he did very, very well.
It was creepy, wasn't it? Because he just like immediately he doesn't seem right when he comes in. Later we find out obviously he's the alien version of himself, where he just sort of walks silently in and just sort of like slinks and sits down on the ground and just looks, and it's just like, this feels off. Something's off.
And then when he says, my arms are too long, and it's just kind of, it's neatly edited in. It was just like, that seemed odd, and I know they're leading up to something, but let's see where they're going with this. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, it's hard to quantify how that worked, but it does work. So another thing I like about Donna is like in the old Series 4 series, which is why we're watching her, is she's like, she would be freaking out and like overcompensating for the fact she doesn't know what the hell's going on. Now she does know what's going on. And I think Catherine Tate does a great job of like her being kind of very confident in her own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because she's had the experience and she knows what she's getting into here.
Yeah, we go and kick it's ours. That the line that goes in there, which is from there. Yeah, she's confident in their abilities to handle this situation, sort of thing. Yeah. Well, there we go. Wrapped it up.
Yeah, done and dusted.
Anything else, Sir Chris, on your list of notes there that you liked?
The joke about the doctor's sexuality, I figured we can bring that up. That seems to have ruffled some feathers.
That's one of two feather ruffles.
Just like portraying Newton as a person of color ruffled some feathers as well.
Oh, I know.
Okay, here's my take on this.
Okay.
Like I actually looked it up on Wikipedia because I was like, well, maybe he was. I don't know. Like I actually, before I start spouting off, let's figure out if I'm right or I'm wrong. And so I look and no, of course he isn't. But I was like, well, this is a Doctor Who universe. Who cares? He could be in the Doctor Who universe, and you say Mavity now. Like, if, in a universe where you say Mavity, why not?
And yeah, they certainly drew out that whole Mavity gag.
Yeah,
which I'm sure is another controversy of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, up until I think relatively recent in mainstream circles, it was like, yeah, and Isaac Newton, how very strangely died a virgin. Never had a girlfriend at all. Or a wife, Interesting.
Did he have any friends, any
chums,
he have any
other
bosom
friends?
companions?
Like that never entered in. But so history
just fellas being pals. That's all.
Just good old friends with other boys and men. That's what Isaac Newton was. Damn it.
Buried together with other men because.
Just like J. Edgar Hoover, the straightest man alive.
Right. It's, perceptions of historical figures have changed throughout time. And as a tweet that went around, sure, okay, maybe Isaac Newton wasn't biracial, but Agatha Christie didn't fight a giant wasp. Mary Seacole didn't treat Sartarans, Charles Dickens didn't deal with gas ghosts.
And also, we have no idea if he wasn't. Like, he probably wasn't biracial, but we don't. What are we going off of? Like church records? Who knows if that's accurate or not? That's from 400 years ago.
Warren, as a history major,
yes,
surely you know that history has never been whitewashed.
No, not once.
Been whitewashed.
No, never once. Not enough.
Yeah,
especially not North American history. Never.
What are they going to claim, that Jesus wasn't a white guy either? I mean, This is going to be shocking if this turns out to be true.
Jesus, imaginary. But anyway. So you can be any color you want him to be.
Yeah,
I suppose.
I do love the way that they, like he is hot. We say, this is who I am now.
Yeah,
but how like it was.
And then she's offhandedly and gets cut off.
It was always just below the surface.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny how they just kind of like, she basically goes, well, yeah, of course, and then they just go, okay, we got something else to deal with now.
Yeah.
That's a line for all the Dr. Adric shippers out there. I'm sure.
That's everybody.
We've
all shipped Adric in our time.
Well, I think mostly in Chris and Kat's house. This has happened a lot. I think.
Maybe the other person. Yeah, no.
I just Dr. Adam shipping as
not
well.
so much.
Is there something on archive of our own? Is that on there? I imagine probably. Yeah.
Warren's way more involved in fanfic than I am.
That's true.
I've written some funny stuff to annoy Star Wars nerds. That's all I've done.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird actually because I thought the Newton scene was funny, but like the previous episodes pre-credit scene, entirely superfluous. I could have almost done without it.
Cringy.
A little bit cringy. The Mavity thing was like, I don't know.
That's where I think there's payoff. There'll probably be something along the way of it. Maybe he's going to come back with Shudigawa as a character or something.
He has to go change it back to gravity or something like that.
Who knows? Like,
yeah.
Or they throw this guy in there, and then later in the season we see a whole adventure with Isaac Newton. Who knows?
I don't think.
Well, and apparently it was the pirate planet where the Doctor referred to having met Newton.
Was it the pirate planet? Oh yeah, he told me to clear off out of his apple tree. I explained it to him later on at dinner or something like that. Is that the episode that I'm thinking of?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is cringy. Chip. Hello, Chip.
Chat,
Chip.
A live chat. Welcome back to Minute Time Lord. I liked also that we were all thinking it, and then Russell T Davies said it also on the Doctor Who podcast about how people keep saying we should sort of reference and remake old classics like Genesis of the Daleks and Caves of Androzani and Blink and everything like that. And he says, nope, we've done Underworld.
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 Which I hadn't thought of, but he's
I
right.
totally got the Underworld vibe.
Yeah.
Totally. First thing in my mind when I realized that all the whole hallway and whatever was just CG.
Yep. Erica and I talked about it shortly after broadcast because we thought it too, and we thought, you know what, Underworld walked so Wild Blue Yonder could run because it was they didn't do it by choice then. They did it out of necessity because otherwise it would have had no sets, and which is why I love it. I love Underworld to bits because it doesn't look good, but damn it, nothing would have on that budget and that. A level of technology in those days. Nobody
on the Starlost had even tried anything close to it.
Nothing at all. No, and now they do this, and it was I got kind of weird prequel Star Wars prequel flashbacks when they were shooting this all on green screen. It's just they're still doing this. I guess it's still on green screen. Actors are probably so used to this now.
It's been 20 years. They've perfected how they do this.
They really have.
Yet, it still looked so fake.
What the hallway? You think?
Yeah. There are bits and pieces that looked a little off. I have to agree there. There was a bit of compositing that was but on the other hand, that giant hand, they wouldn't even have tried this in Series 4, for instance. This wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have tried any of this. So yeah, it looked a little fake, but they tried. They went. So did Underworld.
I think part of the and we've talked about this with classic Who on modern TVs and how you're not supposed to see all the flaws in the Persian rug, as you're fond of saying, Stephen.
Right.
But you can't help but seeing them. But now that things are shot in 4K HDR, just the clarity is just there in such, it's so in your face.
But it's kind of the same because you can see the flaws on NTSC. You can also see these much lesser flaws in 4K HDR. So it's another flaw in the Persian rug.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be Doctor Who without a bit of crap thrown in.
Well,
yeah, because a TV in the 90s or 2000s would be too good to watch 60s, 70s Doctor Who for the.
By the way, all this stuff's gonna age. Watch 90s CG. It's not good. Any episode of Voyager, not great special effects.
Watch an episode of She-Hulk. I'm just saying. We're complaining
all
about
this stuff
CG.
is going to age poorly.
I don't think even Marvel is even getting proper CG out of this anymore. And
well, that's because it takes an enormous amount of work, and on a tight schedule,
it does.
all film. So.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, they shot this in July of 2022,
and it was boiling hot, which we'll get into in the
we're talking about Unleashed, but that I'm still standing by. We're a year and a half out from when they shot this. Tennant's been the Doctor for a year and a half, and he was shooting it for 3 months, and he gets to basically bask in this adulation of returning to Doctor Who, even though he's on for 3 weeks. He's been it for a year and a half. But
pretty good deal, actually. When you write down,
not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. I think it still looks pretty. I mean, nothing beats a practical set. I love that the little robot was a big marionette. Basically, they had a big bar that went over the set, and which held him up, and they had little things that they moved his feet on. And he was completely practical effects.
And wire removal and removing people controlling it, that's old hat by now. But it's still kind of crazy that you can do that.
I know.
There's 5 people crowded around this thing and they're just gone.
Yeah, I know. It is quite fascinating. Removing stuff is what a lot of CG is. Yeah.
And Warren, that's tech that ships on smartphones, consumer level.
Oh,
smartphones
I know. That in and of itself is insane.
Yeah. We mentioned it before about I'm talking about the flux. I do love how affected by it the Doctor was,
Which they would be.
Yeah, I love going back to his performance as well. I love that he just sort of he escapes from that situation, just goes in that tunnel and just bang, 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 kicks it 4 times, breathes. Okay, off we go. Got it out of my system. Let's go.
And then you see the same thing happen at the end of the episode as well. He's talking to Donna in the TARDIS, and he's like, "Yeah, there's." He doesn't elaborate on it. He's like, "There's this thought that's in my mind, and okay, now it's gone. Now let's move on."
Yeah. The 14th Doctor leaves a lot unsaid, but we can read it in his face and his emotions.
Which is another difference from the 10th, who didn't leave anything unsaid.
And I think it's also just a Tennant. He's a much more mature actor now. And he's really good. And I love watching him in the behind the scenes stuff, just loving everything about Doctor Who. And yeah, gonna miss him. Gonna miss him next week. He's gonna be gone next week. Again. So I come to terms with that.
It was brought up earlier, and I'm going to bring it up again here. Just Catherine Tate's performance as well.
Oh yeah,
right.
She was phenomenal. Like there's no sour notes in any of the performances here.
No,
And
she's superb.
just especially the scene with the fake Donna and the real Doctor, and the mention of Gallifrey, and the timeless child mention, and all that kind of stuff. Like just the raw emotion dripping from both of them. Just sold that scene so much.
Their near argument that they stop, because about you spilled the coffee and everything. And then they just sort of like, they're far apart,
which is more mature too.
Yeah, that's a much more mature thing to do too, and just like there's a real maturity to it. I love it when Doctor Who is both for families, but also has like that emotional maturity to the relationships between the characters.
Now one wonders with two quite young actors, is that going to happen with the Shooty era? Well, I guess we're going to find out, but
we will find out.
Then Matt Smith played an old man very well for a 28-year-old or whatever he was.
He
so
did.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what Shooty Gat was going to be like. Or given that, let me think about this. Almost the combined age of Shooty Gatwa and Millie Gibson. They are just
around Tennant's age.
Old I am. Yeah.
I think then I've got them beat. Hooray!
Because I think Shooty Gat was 30 years old now. I think he turned 30 in whatever month that was. Hey, Millie Gibson is a mere 19 years old. She was 2 years old when this podcast started back in 2006. So
Stop talking immediately.
I know. It's very odd, but
before you turn to dust.
That's all to come. I love the set design in this. I thought it was really great. The floors were great. The doors. I love that still, even in 2022, doors that go shook shook are still guys with pulleys,
which they show in the Unleashed.
Yep.
Well, why would you do otherwise?
Why would you? You have control
broke.
over it. Yep. Well, unless the pulley breaks. I think that's probably the only thing that's probably improved. The pulley systems have improved, but it's just literally guys pulling pulleys. Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah, quite so. I'm looking forward to the next one. There's the possibility, in fact, likelihood, that it'll be RTD over the top, which could go one of two ways. We'll see.
It will be.
It will be.
It will be. It will.
Sheer,
yeah.
The sheer nature of the villain at play here is, and what we've seen.
And even just things we've seen with stills and trailers and
And this is where
content and whatever.
For as expensive as all this looks, this is where the money went, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, shooting 3 weeks or something in a studio with a green screen as two people probably didn't cost anywhere near as a giant full-on production is what we'll see. But
with a lot of practical effects, what I can tell, on top of all the CG stuff that's probably in there.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, we'll get to a couple things at the end of the episode.
I had a couple more notes, but Warren, go for it.
Okay. I like that Donna, the real Donna, got rid of the idea of the flux and all that other stuff that the other doctors remembered because it was just too much. Whereas the other one, for obvious reasons, didn't. Also, one little thing where he's like, "Oh, you're not wearing your tie." I couldn't keep track of because he shows up again with his tie. I'm like, "Wait a minute, which one is this?" The hell with it. I'm not gonna bother figuring it out.
Yeah.
So that was that a screw up, or was that just me being dumb? Probably me being dumb.
I think it was you being dumb. Confused by the episode, which is probably the intention.
After the tie scene, I did the exact same thing. The next time you see the fake doctor, does he have his tie? Does he not have his tie? Of course he does.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Chris, you had a couple notes left there to / discussion points there.
Elons, as idiots say, E.
I love how she's happy to just give him rag on him all the time, and in a fun way, like in a friendly, fun way.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chris,
as Erica says in the chat, it was definitely not a screw up as far as the doctor and the fake doctor and the tire.
I think so. Yeah.
The fake doctor just put it back. And then there was. Back in the Runaway Bride, there was a scene with with Donna in the back of the cab and the doctor flying the Tardis down the motorway or whatever and having that conversation, which made me not happy at the time. There was another comparable one. Another comparable one
Coming
here.
back. Oh, it's coming back. I can
Another
feel it.
comparable one here where
Bowling
the
up
doctors,
like a tuna madras.
Doctors riding the TARDIS like a skateboard.
Come on, that's awesome.
No, please
Yes,
no.
yes.
I laughed.
That was a bit too. I laughed. It was a bit too
I
far.
laughed. No, I thought it was kind of funny. I laughed. Fun little bit. That was fine.
I love the little Tonka toy floating transport that goes all of about 20 feet before they meet the robot.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
happens to pop up.
why does it fall to pieces afterward? I don't know.
Because it gets pretty dinged up by the giant aliens because they batter and beat it and spin it around.
I am
It
sick and tired
crashes
of these
into a
comments in the
thing.
giant alien hand. The first one of these incidents happened.
Well done, Warren. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done indeed. Yeah. Yeah. It's just all in all, just one of those episodes where I like to spend time with characters. I think people like to spend time with characters. You know,
you have no choice but to really.
Yeah.
Because it's just the two actors and
Exactly.
2/4 characters.
Yeah. It's why the kids are still talking about My Dinner with Andre to this day.
But the kids love My Dinner with Andre so much.
It's up there. Yeah.
Not at all. But and then of course what else? Before we get to the very end of the episode, there's a horse alien, which I liked. I liked that this poor horse alien realized the threat and jumped out of the airlock.
Hell with this.
3 years ago and has been floating around, and that's what's been banging around, like just that horse alien and a wrench.
It was a
hitting the
hook.
cockpit. It was a hook or something. It was an implement. I didn't see what kind of implement it was. But
It was like a tethering hook. The whole premise of the plot with the slow countdown and whatever. I thought that was genius. That's fantastic.
It was, wasn't it?
Like there's a lot of for me anyway. It evoked a lot of like Sunshine or
Danny Boyle.
yeah, the Danny Boyle film or Event Horizon or but that's probably the space setting as much as anything.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen Sunshine. Event Horizon I saw when it came out, so I remember nothing.
Yeah, but and I dig both those films, but it's like the whole like it's a trope that's been done. Like a lot of people, I'm sure, will cite like The Thing as one of the best implementations of it, which I hated that film so
you're wrong.
much.
You just saw it for the first time recently, didn't you?
I did. It was dreadful.
I saw it for the first time last year, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
First of all, it's a great movie. Secondly, it has an Apple IIe in it, so it wins just on that alone.
And it's
Voiced
pretty
by
much
Adrian Barbeau.
It's pretty much the first two episodes of the Seeds of Doom too. That's probably why I liked it so much. But anyway, you were saying, Chris, we didn't.
But yeah, it's
derail
like
you there.
there's little, if anything, that's like original. But whatever.
Yeah, I like the conceit of like the aliens, the not things need full knowledge of to fully assimilate them, so to speak, and
the flip side of as soon as the Doctor and Donna start to figure things out, they immediately gain that knowledge because of the link to them.
Yeah,
like when the Doctor's figuring out the whole 3-year bomb thing.
Yeah. They instantly clue into it too. I love that because it's like, okay, now the Doctor has to stop thinking, which will never happen because he can't. He can't do that.
And also, how do you solve this problem without thinking, right? So
he has to know. He has to know. And he solves it, and it's very effective. I like this one a lot. I like both of them a lot, and they are entirely different beasts, and it was great. So, but then they
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then they escape the ship, and lo and behold, it's there's
I was going to
Wilf.
say, is it time to talk about Wilf?
It's time to talk about Wilf. I don't think I was expecting him at the end of this episode.
no, I thought it was gonna be the next one.
Yeah. Sadly, this is it. This is the only scene they managed to shoot with him before he died. Bernard Cribbins. So I was pleased for that. Not that he died, obviously, but I'm pleased that they got something in with him. Because he's, I think he became ill not long after this, and so I think they did have scenes. I mean, we don't usually talk about next episodes, but Russell T Davies posted on Instagram like right after, says this is it for Bernard Cribbins. We had a couple scenes in the next episode. It's alluded to he's fine and well, like Wilf is fine and well in the next episode, but we don't see him obviously because they didn't get to shoot it. But so yeah, it was I like that his last scene was
you know, him seeing the Doctor again with Donna in the TARDIS, and but yeah, good old Bernard Cribbins seemed like a happy fellow in the and you know, the behind the scenes stuff too.
93 and still on the ball, which was kind of impressive.
Right, and at the read through, and he was like, you know, everyone was loving him in the read through and everything, and it was it was quite lovely. So yeah, Chris, were you expecting to see Bernard Cribbins at the end of that episode?
No, because I thought as well that he was going to be in the giggle. But obviously not so much.
And we only have Doctor Who to base this on. He's beloved by the UK just generally on top of Doctor Who. So
yeah, voice of the Wombles, I guess. Again, I understand
Exactly.
we only watch Doctor Who in this country, so don't we're not ruining your childhoods by not naming everything that he's
we're
been
just dumb,
And
as
with
per usual.
and with Neil in the live stream chat here, I mean, we don't know Right Said Fred, but we know Right Said Moff.
We know the Tacky on
Tacky
TV.
on TV parody.
That's right, we do. Yeah, somebody I saw on Twitter. I don't know, some 60s variety show sketch or something that he was doing with Roy Castle, which is interesting because they both played sort of that same role in the two Dalek movies. And they were hilarious together. And, you know, you forget that, Bernard Cribbins goes way back to the 1960s. It's just this, this
Probably
entertaining
before
variety
that,
performer.
even.
Yeah, probably, yeah. So it was good. It was good at least to get one last kick at the can with old Bernard Cribbins. So that was nice. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else about Wild Blue Yonder before we move on to like what Unleashed? Do you want to talk about Unleashed at all?
I mean, it's a relatively simple story. It's just really well told, basically.
Yeah. I think so too. Chris, anything else?
Without the strong performances, this would have been nothing.
That's completely right.
Yeah, it's like Heaven Sent. You know that you have a proper damn actor to focus an entire episode around, so you do it. And that's not to disparage any past Doctors and companions, but you know, Tennant and Tate are superb, and you realize that we can totally just do this. We can have an episode with just them, and
I mean, I think we would have known that from seeing Tennant carrying Midnight and Tate carrying Turn Left.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff, Doctor Who. Good stuff. So we watched Unleashed, which had behind the scenes. I'm trying to think because the behind the scenes stuff on YouTube, which I think I still prefer a little bit, because there's fewer wacky hijinks in the behind the scenes.
I didn't mind the wacky hijinks in this Unleashed though. We'll get to that, but
no, get to it now. What do you? So Stefan,
I found
Powell,
where he has to do a role each episode, and so he's a camera trainee in this one. He's very bad at it, which I found kind of amusing, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you a window into the world about some of these jobs that we never really hear.
An insane amount of work on every department. Like the camera trainee they were focusing on, the amount of stuff she has to do is, and that's just one person of God knows how many. So,
as you doubtless saw, Warren, they were using area Alexas.
I did notice that. I was like, which cameras are those? Oh, I see the 4 lights. That's an Alexa.
Yeah. So I mean, they're using pretty top end gear.
Well, Alexa's pretty much standard for anything of this level.
Yeah. But man, there's lots of buttons and dials on those things.
Well, the funny thing about Alexas is when you look at, because I remember when they first came out, I went to some like event where they showed them off here, and I was like, oh, this actually seems kind of stripped down to be more like a film camera. So it was made to make anybody transitioning from film to, well, what is essentially video, to feel much more comfortable with it. And what Panasonic did is they made the digital camera, but you couldn't monitor it because you can't monitor film. The hard drive was shaped like the reel. They went way too far.
Oh dear!
I'm not making this up.
Totally skeuomorphic and everything.
That's what it was. It was skeuomorphic. And so Alexa said, "Out of hell with all that. Let's just make this very comfortable for anybody who's worked in film to keep working the exact same way they do, except it's going to this card as opposed to this pretend reel that's a hard drive."
Right.
So.
Yeah, I love that they set up all those tents with like the the screening, the monitors in there. They just set up monitors everywhere. That's part of their job. Honestly, like one day I'd love to visit the Doctor Who set, obviously. And some people would like to say, "Oh, I want to see like them to shoot an iconic scene or something." No, I want to see the logistics of the thing. I am so fascinated just by the logistics of how television works. That I wouldn't even care about. Like, I'll be quiet on set. I don't care about.
Get the hell out of the way is what you do.
I just want to look at things. I want to see what happens when people are doing, and I just find the whole process utterly fast. So many people work on TV. Yeah. So many,
even on a small thing, and this is not a small thing.
No, on a TV show, and it's just
utterly fascinating.
And kind of
to see how-
tiresome. Not tiresome, but exhausting. Like just watching all that work, you're like, oh, I'm so tired just looking at this.
I know, yeah. We often, on mini scopes, we often talk about, just directors and writers and musicians sometimes, and we forget about. We're not going to do mini scopes on like camera runners or anything like that. That would be tough to do. But
or floor managers,
or floor. Who's the best floor? Yeah, Patty Russell never was floor manager for Doctor Who.
JNT.
JNT for floor. Margot Hayho, one of the great floor managers in Doctor Who history, on the mini scope. No, we're probably not going to do that, but yeah. I love that stuff like this is back. I love that RTD shares a love of making TV and knows that other people love that too, because we get 45 minutes between two different things every single week now about how they made an episode of Doctor Who. And it's great. I love it. I've missed that over the past few years,
Well, we had, we had Confidential originally being 30 minutes, and then it grew to 45.
Yeah.
Which
to
was
its detriment
about
a lot of the time.
to its detriment, being about as long as the episode it covered itself, and by the end of Series 6 of Confidential, I was they ran out of stuff to talk about. And there's this inflated runtime, and I didn't want to see it go, but I wasn't sad to see it leave.
Yeah, there was a feeling that we got like we know pretty much everything. About how
I think,
this
and now that it's 12 years later, we've I've missed it, and I'm very much welcoming it back.
And I think Unleashed is the right length. And I'm not a huge fan of, not this particular host, just hosts in general get on my nerves. But this guy's okay, and I like that they have him go off and do stuff poorly. Like you're going to fill time. You might as well do it like that so you're actually learning something at the same time, but whatever department that you never hear about.
Right. And I like how Tennant and Tate are like, in on the shtick. There's a recent... like 1 minute thing, I don't know, some YouTuber, some reel or something like that on social media where David Tennant says, oh, it's, lots of stuff for the viewers, new and old. They just put that in the trailer. That's perfect. Or, he totally gets what it, it takes to make these behind the scenes stuff. And him and Tate are sort of joking around and stuff like feigning surprise about, oh, that's not David.
But not really feigning surprise.
But, not really, like they're having fun with it, which is
my favorite part of the whole thing is where it's like it's plus 37 degrees or something insane at the time in England.
Yeah.
And so they're doing the interview and then they pan down and she's got this air conditioner hose up her sweater.
Upper sweater,
Which I can't really blame her for if it's that hot.
I know. Don't they have AC in Battle Studios? Come on.
Well, they also got lights, but they're LED lights, which are not as hot as yesteryear.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't in Cardiff, but I was in the UK in July of 2022, and I can attest to how hot it was.
Yeah,
so.
you were. That's right. Yeah. Should have gone on set. You totally would have gone.
I wasn't in Cardiff.
it's a bit of a reach, I think.
Totally should have gone there. It's not that far. Come on, we're Albertans. Cardiff is like a 3-hour drive away. That's nothing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Nothing.
Yeah,
that is a
in
joke.
the country, I had no access to a car.
No, I know. Well, they have trains.
There was a
And
really
don't
good
have a
train
license
system,
in the
unlike
first
us.
place.
Yeah, they have trains and everything. We aren't going to dive into it too much, but there are stats. 4.83 million overnights. Third for the night? I think Strictly and the other show, the baking show. I don't know which one it was. The other, Rhea. I'm a Celebrity. That was the one.
Oh yeah.
Finished
The Nigel Farage vehicle. Yeah.
Was that what it was? I don't know anything about that.
Get me out of here.
He's on there.
That.
Or
The-
may still.
yeah.
I don't know. It's like a 5% drop off. That's not too terrible.
No, I was actually surprised by that. Starbeast got an AI of 84, by the way. But on the it's called BBC The Radio Show with Jane Tranter. Jane Tranter was a guest on it. They had like I've never, to be honest, I haven't heard of the media show before, but it's interesting because they talk about like the media. Warren, I think you and I might be interested in this. That's from a UK perspective.
The Guardian used to have a show like that years and years ago, a podcast like that. And I used to listen to it, not knowing what the hell they were talking about. Fascinated nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, I might grab this because that sounds pretty cool.
It's interesting. They had, 2 or 3 different segments about, like, they talked to Lord Michael Grade about the license fee and everything, and kind of held him to the fire a little bit. And then the host was trying to get some like information out of Jane Tranter because she was, Jane Tranter being executive producer of Doctor Who and co-runner of Badwell Studios, and she was talking about, she was also, what are the ratings like? The ratings good, and I was like, 5 million, like, and then they got very encouraging numbers. She said, I think they got like 2 million the next day just on iPlayer from this, by the Sunday, we're watching it on iPlayer.
Would be a fair chunk, yeah.
Starbeast, and then 1 million every day after that. So the final consolidated ratings for the Starbeast might be, pretty substantial. When you take out the
So for that.
look at that. Yeah, you got
for this point in the in the way media is consumed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She even tried to push Tranter on the budget for the show, like, which I found intriguing. On a BBC, like I've heard things between 3 million and 10 million or something, and it's just Jay Tranter like going around like, is it 7 million or something? You're not going to get me to comment, but it's around there.
Like I don't think she has to sign an NDA, but you might as well be signing an NDA. Like you don't get Disney money without some lawyer pointing a pen gun at you saying, listen.
Yeah, she. One other thing that I want to mention about that radio thing before we move on is that Jane Tranter also said that Bad Wolf had nothing to do with the Disney thing. It was all BBC. BBC and Disney worked that out. Bad Wolf had nothing to do with that. So
I mean, that makes sense.
I've said it before. Like, it doesn't do me any good, but I'm not who that's for. So whatever. Mm-hmm. And there isn't one on this one. So
no. So, good on the BBC for realizing that, once again, can I just say how wonderful it was to just turn on Disney Plus and there was Doctor Who.
But it wasn't.
But,
for about a minute,
Yeah, well, because they're treating them as 3 different specials. They're not 3 episodes of the same series. So
which is fine.
It's fine.
But at least have the placeholder there more than 8 seconds before it's live.
True. Yeah, last week, like Thursday, I think it went up for the Star Beast. I think
I've seen that happen before with Star Wars stuff too, like where it just kind of sat around for 5 minutes and then it updated.
Well, honestly, here's the trick, kids. Here's what I do. I on my Apple TV, I'll do the thing and I quit out of the app. I swipe it up, and so the Disney Plus isn't even open. Yeah. And then 11:30 local time came around, and I popped it up and it just said new to Disney Plus. That was the first thing right there. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like,
I realized it was probably going to be special 2 because Star Beast has been called Special 1 on Disney Plus this whole time. So,
but I mean, three minutes before it goes live, if you're searching Doctor Who and it only shows Star Beast, you're searching Wild Blue Yonder and it only shows like nature documentaries. Mm-hmm. Like that's
there should have been a placeholder. No, also what I wasn't a fan of is that usually on Disney Plus stuff, once the actor credits go, it shrinks down and then here, well, since you watch this, that. And usually you can swipe back.
Yes, I noticed that too.
You couldn't do it this time.
I want to watch these credits, damn it.
Yeah, so I saw, in memory of Bernard Cribbins' OBE on a tiny little thing while I was telling me to watch the episode that I watched 4 damn times last week. It's like, yes, I guess I'll watch the Star Beast again there, algorithm.
On the Star Wars one, so you finish something and they're like, watch the Bad Batch. I'm like, but I already saw that. Like, stop bothering me. Don't tell me what to watch, Disney.
I've seen Return of the Jedi. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Have you seen New Hope? Doesn't ring a bell, no.
Yeah. And now, when I played it this morning, 3 different times, I thought I actually hit the wrong thing. They had a preview for Dial of Destiny. A pre-roll on Disney Plus, so just be warned, folks. Things aren't gonna. But honestly,
here's the thing:
though,
they spent a lot of money on Dial of Destiny. They didn't make that money back, so they are going to make. Not that they make any money off it anyway, but whatever. Like,
they're gonna force this nostalgia on someone. Damn it.
Good movie.
I like the movie too, but then again, we're Indiana Jones fans. Why are we whispering? Okay. Anyway, so that was our Disney Plus experience. Next week it'll happen at the same time. Also, what will happen is the church on Ruby Road. Yes, that little image of here's all the holiday specials a month ago that Disney Plus dropped on their social media as well. Guess what, kids? The BBC has officially announced that the Church on Ruby Road will be airing on Christmas Day, and they even have screen grabs of Ncuti Gatwa there. Look at them. There's Doctor Who there. We're watching this in the live stream, folks. Next to a Christmas tree of some sort, and looks like Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson are on a pirate ship or something like that, which is kind of fun.
Oh, pirate ship. That's not a good sign.
Yeah. They released
the long-awaited Doctor Who Our Flag Means Death crossover.
Oh, possibly.
I mean, that is long-awaited. Come on.
Yeah. Ncuti Gatwa in a hat and a different outfit as well. So, like, how many outfits does he wear in the same Christmas special? I don't know. I mean, Disney posted that one, by the way.
He's just looking cool as hell. There's no getting around it.
Well, he really is. It's insofar that I don't even think we talked about the. There's a Goblin too, by the way.
I'm here for the Goblin agenda.
Davina Bacall and a couple other actors who were mentioned as well. We never mentioned
Brian May's wife.
Oh, was it really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We never talked about the Next Time trailer, I suppose, did we?
Well, there's not.
No, we didn't. Or the other thing that you skipped over. But Next Time trailer.
Jumped around a little bit.
We got a jukebox at the Tardis.
Yes.
So there's a jukebox in the Tardis with Ncuti Gatwa. in a newly regenerated Shudigatwa, hopefully
And
having
with
been
his shirt
told-
half unbuttoned.
Yeah,
As one does.
being told what the hell's going on. The opening image of the next time trailer, which is very short and did not air on Disney Plus, but links in the show notes, radiofreeskaro.com, is him in front of that same sky backdrop, as seen in the original trailer for Shudigatwa, saying, "Will someone tell me what the hell's going on?" And I'm beginning to think that the backdrop that was covering up was in fact Shudigatwa in the Tardis, is what I'm starting to think. But as to what the jukebox there, I don't know.
I hope it's Capaldi taking Smith's TARDIS and zuzzing it up his own way. I hope this is the same thing happening here.
Or is it a tie-in to the events of the Giggle that
Could be both.
jukebox
Who knows?
shows up?
Or are we just going to get Doctor Who branded jukeboxes on the market?
Well, I joked about, so there was a rumor. Should we talk about the rumor, the unsubstantiated rumor?
Might as well.
You said we weren't going to talk about that. So
Okay, then I won't talk about it.
It's stupid, and it comes from Reddit,
yeah.
so there you go.
That's true. My guess is that David Tennant's Doctor will still be there, but in the form of a jukebox. He'll only voice the jukebox. So the 14th Doctor will exist as a jukebox.
I want to see that.
A wisecracking jukebox in the TARDIS, a la Derek Jacobi's Master in the Scream of the Shalka.
Completely taking away any agency or emotional depth that we've seen in the 14th Doctor. He's now a wisecracking jukebox or a love-matic grandpa tester, where the hell it's called in The Simpsons.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. What else happened here? There was an SFX preview. Had some lovely images there of look at Shudigatwa on the coat and stuff.
That's some what's the proper term for what his coat's doing? Swishing. Yeah, that's some good swishing.
Coat there. He's doing a spin. He spins and then they get 8 different pictures of
Right
it.
underneath, there's 2 things. There's a Rebel Moon preview and a Willy Wonka preview, and I want nothing to do with either of those things.
No,
You could have had a whole page of swishing, but no.
I saw a preview, and it was only then I realized that Wonka was a full-on musical. I can't.
Looks so stupid. I saw the
do
trailer and I
that.
was like, no, I'm never watching this.
I could watch. I could watch Gene Wilder sing a
Oh, yeah.
song from 1971 because it's 71 and it's dark as hell. But no, I don't think I can do
It looks terrible.
can
And
do
Rebel Moon looks like, well, it looks like exactly what it is. Star Wars people going, no, Zack Snyder, not today. So he's like, well, I'll show you. I'll make something that's even more derivative than Star Wars.
Yeah.
And lo, here we are.
Rachel. Yes.
I was going to say, you keep skipping over the tuna madras recipe that the Doctor Who website released.
Oh yeah, which is actually, you know what? Thank you very much. I was going to mention that because I've so the if you want to make it for yourself, James Goss has written this up for the Doctor Who website. 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. I have all these things in.
Yeah, I would like to make this, actually.
1 teaspoon of ground coriander, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of hot chili powder, teaspoon of ginger, salt to taste, 1 onion, chopped 5 cloves of garlic, chopped 2 tins of tuna. I would sub that with something else because I'm vegetarian.
Tofu.
Drained 1 tin of tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes per se, so I might get diced perhaps, and then a half jar of black olives. That's the wild card there. I'm not sure I'd add the black olives myself.
You know, here's what I'm going to do. If
okay.
I get stuck for the 4th year in a row in Vancouver, I'm making this for my Christmas dinner.
That's not a bad idea. That'd be great, actually.
You can live stream it and
Nobody wants to
Patreon
watch that.
thing.
Yeah,
Barely want to watch that myself, and I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah, if you want to cook it, fry the onion for 5 minutes until golden brown. Then add the garlic, stir for 2 minutes. This all makes sense. I've made Indian dishes a few times. Mix in the spices, stir quickly. Add in the 2 tins of tuna or meat of your choice. Stir again twice. Add the tin of tomatoes and the olives. If maybe you don't want the olives.
I'd throw the olives.
Bring to a boil until the sauce thickens. Then turn down low for 10 minutes and then serve. So there you go.
But also, you need an alien to come crash in your shed. That's important. That's key, actually.
That's true. It says meep, properly timed at the end of it. Rachel Towell, is she what directed Doctor Who? So this is intriguing because she was on CBC, by the way. She was on CBC on the Coast.
Which is Vancouver's own.
Vancouver-based thing because she's based in Vancouver, obviously, talking about Doctor Who and the Star Beast. And Gloria Makarenko, who was hosting it, did watch a few minutes of Doctor Who. Can confirm.
She might be a fan for all we know. I don't know.
Yeah, she watched a little bit of it. I want to point out, the intro to last week's The Star Beast, which was not a tall shot by Rachel Talalay, and as mentioned by her at Chicago Tardis the next morning, was never seen by Rachel Talalay until she saw it at Chicago Tardis. Apparently, the shots of Donna in that were taken from outtakes from The Star Beast.
She said this on Twitter in a reply to someone talking about it. And so I find that so basically they shot like a thing of David Tennant on a green screen that they later put on a weirdly compositive shot of a galaxy. And then used outtakes from Donna Noble for other bits of it. So that was really cobbled together at the last minute, I want to say. You know...
Oopsie.
In front of the, the galaxy thing, you know what I mean? Which is the weird thing to me, but so yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
we lost half of what you said.
Yeah, you froze up, so I don't know what you mean.
Oh, that's all right. Well,
we have no
I
idea
heard myself.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
Well, I was talking about the hello live stream. They're not editing this. This is a live podcast, folks. It's just I could have gotten away with them doing it without the David Tennant standing in front of the galaxy. Instead of if the whole thing was a voiceover,
exactly.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Then we could have gotten away with it.
Which you could do from home, frankly.
Yeah, could have done it from home. So it was just very, very strange. So
whatever. I mean, it happened. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, sure.
We all survived. I mean,
Exactly.
barely. We'll be in therapy for years.
Oh
but,
yeah. Why wasn't there a content warning? If they'd shown this on Mastodon, there'd have to be a content warning.
Yeah.
And old text running throughout it, which is called subtitles.
Yeah, exactly. One programming note to mention. We'll mention this on the week of this episode as well. But on December 18th at 10:40 p.m., there's a 75-minute thing called Imagine Russell T Davies, the Doctor and Me, hosted by Alan Yentob. Alan Yentob. That Alan Yentob interviews Russell T Davies, Shruti Gatwa, David Tennant, Catherine Tate. Other people are in there, especially Russell T Davies. This Is Your Life. So that's coming up 10:40 p.m. That's late night TV, but that's happening on December 18th. So yeah, looking forward to that. Once again, a major Gallifrey 1 update is shunted to an hour into this episode because it's Doctor Who. But oh boy, a whole host of people I've even forgot. Chris, who's coming? Who's announced in this this latest Gallifrey 1 guest update? Rachel Talalay was one of them.
Rachel Talalay.
Yeah,
that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Camille Kaduri, Sean Dingwall, so the entire Piper clan, Tyler clan will
Billy
be there.
Piper was previously announced. Yeah,
You gotta call it the Clan Piper. Come on, the Clan
exactly.
Piper.
Annette
the Phantom Piper.
Dominic Glynn, so there'll be 2 musicians there with Dominic Glynn and Sagan Akinola, and 7 guests. Jan Chappell, Sally Nivette, and Brian Croucher are going to be there too. So.
Also, I said off mic, one thing I love about Travis is that he's the most fearsome villain in the galaxy, and he has construction paper for an eye patch. It never makes me not laugh when I see Blake 7.
Yeah, February 16th, 18th, 2024, Gallifrey 1 with a whole host of people, as you see in the live stream. Billy Piper, Alex Kingston, Lala Ward, Sagan Akinola, Fraser Hines, Matthew Waterhouse. Eric Sayward, his first ever North American convention appearance. I still can't get over that. But then I remembered that, wait a minute, when J&T was off gallivanting in the 80s, someone had to stay behind and mind the shop and write the damn
work.
show.
That was him.
Yeah, and so that's what he was. And Camille Kaduri, Jacqueline King, Rachel Talalay. It's almost like we almost get all like the mothers and daughters in there as well, because Jacqueline King's there too. Don't think Catherine Tate will be there, but that's fine. A whole host of other people will be there. So get your tickets, Gallifrey1.com in February.
I'm hopeful there's a panel somewhere of Jacqueline King making the tuna madras.
Well, I joked about that to James Goss on the on Twitter. And Simon Guerrier that we should have a panel and we just basically, we cook tuna madras on it, so we could do it. Doesn't take long.
That could be a fire hazard. I don't know about that. In a conference room? Yeah.
Do we not need an updated Doctor Who cookbook? Could this not be the linchpin to that?
We very much do need an updated Doctor Who cookbook.
Very good. Very good idea indeed. This showed up early last week, so it seems like old news, and it kind of came and went. But we'll mention here, Deadline reported that Doctor Who shakes up the writers' payment structure.
after Disney Plus boards the BBC Sci-Fi series, where they're going more for lump sum up front and not residuals anymore, which is pretty much exactly what the Writers Union was fighting
against,
or against rather.
Well,
this
I mean,
whole
what
strike.
a surprise! Like, people tend to forget that giant businesses run these things and that they're evil.
Yeah.
So there's that. Like, for instance, Bob Iger is saying that our problems is we need more executives on the set. No, you don't. And we need to tone down the messaging. No, you do not.
No, you absolutely
Which
do
is
not.
stupid to call it messaging in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I want the best for writers, and this sounds like it's bad news, but I also think there aren't a lot of writers on Doctor Who. Like, it's not like there's not a writer's room situation. There, like, most of the episodes are written by one person.
Well, they're
That's what
essentially
the 80s.
freelance, right? These guys are a part of a union, I'm sure, but I don't know enough to comment on it without making a bunch of mistakes. But,
Yeah, I don't.
But it seems a little different than the way Americans do it. I don't know. I could be wrong about that.
I admit I don't know how the British. We know a few British writers, including people who've written for Doctor Who. We should have asked them, but we didn't. How it works in the UK, because I'm sure they have a union of some sort. But
No, I want writers to make more money, if at all possible. That's my main goal here.
Yeah, me too. But yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I guess that's a way of saying we don't know. There is I want to point out a wonderful YouTube compilation of Monsters and Blue Peter. It was on the Blue Peter YouTube page, with various Doctor Who monsters appearing on Blue Peter throughout the years. A good chunk of those I've never seen as Blu-ray extras either, which is usually they throw those on there, and I haven't seen some of these before. So if you want to see past Blue Peter hosts talk about Doctor Who monsters on Blue Peter, well, now the video has been made for you. Lucky you. It's a Big Finish, so we'll throw in some Big Finish stuff here. Oh no, wait, there's a living paintings thing. Chris? What was the living painting? You popped this in late last night, and I never got a chance to look at it. But there's a living paintings book about Doctor Who available now.
Yeah. So it was a project that was initiated from, I forget his name, Lewis. I forget his last name.
Oh, it's the blind.
Lewis Morehouse.
Right, yes,
There we go.
yes.
Lewis Morehouse. Yeah, like just basically having Doctor Who books with tactile content, so that people who have vision problems are able to kind of like feel what's in the book,
Right.
Not just like a braille text thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a. I can't remember if it was Kickstarted or what the case was, but it was something that we talked
Just
about.
Giving. It might have been a Just Giving thing, I think, actually.
Same idea, but something we brought up back when it was in the development phase, I guess, or the concept phase, whatever.
Right.
And yeah, now it's there's 3 Doctor Who books that are eventually going to come out. The first one is now available, and for those who want such a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you basically like feel around the picture, and then like audio recordings pop up, like with Tom Baker's on there, like Derek Jacobi reading about the introducing the Master and the Tardis and everything, and other things. Tom Baker, Nick Briggs, Sir Derek Jacobi, Katie Manning, Stephen Noonan as first Doctor, Michael Troughton, Tim Treloar as the second and third Doctors respectively, and Dan Starkey and Terry Malloy all helped to bring this to life. So that's pretty cool. What a cool initiative. I'm glad it really had some real proper Doctor Who talent behind it too. So.
And had the teeth to come to fruition as well.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there's no shortage of other such things that just never actually happened. No matter how good their ideas might be.
Indeed. Last bit of news, just wrapping up some Big Finish stuff. Sontarans versus Rutans, featuring many Doctors Who, 4 different Doctors Who over the course of the next 4 months, January through April. We'll be releasing a 4-part series featuring the Sontarans versus the Rutans at long
And
last.
a Roman Sontaran for some reason? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, hey, we've seen them fight in the Crimean War, so
Crimean, yes.
they can travel wherever they want. Also, Doctor Who, the audio novels, The Chaos Cascade, written by Colin Brake, featuring Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who and Missy, also in there. That's coming out in January. And after a 1-year layoff, Big Finish Day returns at Cadogan Hall in London on June 8th, 2024. The 50th anniversary of the last John Pertwee episode. Yes, I remember what day that was. June 8th, 1974 was
why
episode
didn't it
6
happen
of
last year?
Planet of the Spiders. I don't know
Wasn't
why it didn't
pandemic, was
happen
it?
last year. No, maybe it would have been pandemic. Maybe
Maybe.
they
I don't
didn't feel like it. Maybe it was a snowstorm. Maybe it was the
Yeah.
hottest day in England.
Yep. Well, June 8th, then maybe.
Maybe it was, but anyway, it's back, and so if you want to head on down to that, June 8th is when it's happening. So there you go. And one last thing, also, if you're in New York, at the Paley Center from December 27th to January 7th, they are screening 5 different Doctor Who Christmas specials throughout the day. That being, I'm trying to do this from memory. What was it? Runaway Bride, might have been A Christmas Carol. Dr. Winter Wardrobe for some
lot of
reason. Twice Upon a Time.
Wedding River Song's probably in there.
Another one, might have been there too. But they're at the Paley Center. That's the Paley Center in New York.
I've been to New York a ton of times. I've never gone to the Paley Center, which I will remedy next time. Obviously not for this, but I will definitely try to check out the Paley because it sounds really cool. I have no idea why I haven't gone yet.
They used to have
also-
like Doctor Who screenings there, didn't they, at some point? Or
I think so, yeah.
yeah.
It might have been where one of the venues where like Moffat and Smith and Gillen were at. Yeah. They have a screening of the Star Wars Holiday Special at some point as well.
They do. That's right. They do. Yeah.
But Runaway Bride, Christmas Carol, The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, The Husbands of River Song, and Twice Upon a Time.
There we go. That was the one. Perfect. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it for our episode of Radio Free Skaro. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on the live stream. If you're listening to this on the podcast, we're doing live stream recordings of this. The third one for The Giggle will not happen at the same time. It's going to happen Saturday night for us, mere hours after it airs at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. in the UK. But I don't know what time that is in Australia and New Zealand. But I think it's a comfortable time for you if you want to join us for that. And you can commiserate about having to pay to watch Doctor Who for the first time in 58 years because Australia is pretty unhappy about that. So that's what our live stream of the
At
Giggle
least they
will
can
be.
watch it, unlike Ireland.
That's true. Think about that, Australia. Ireland has it much worse than you. So
There's no streaming options in Ireland.
there's none at all.
Well, there's one thing that works. It's telling Australians to shut up. That's going to go great.
That's true. And New Zealand people. All right. Well, until next week, kids, and the finale of the 14th Doctor era and the birth of the 15th Doctor era and the welcoming of Ncuti Gatwa. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Or in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
There will be a 14th Doctor Big Finish era. I guarantee.
Oh, will there be? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but come on. Like Tennant's not going to do it?
That's weird that I was with that little blip that we had there. I only
weird.
saw that my camera and Chris's camera for half a second. The little wheel turned right after I was done speaking.
Yeah, Chris was fine, and I think mine's local, so it would be fine. But
I thought you were just wrapped with
gripped. Absolutely
me
gripped.
talking about
No.
pre-credit
that's
scenes.
never going to happen.
No,
Tell me more.
Did you talk about Credits Gate?
no,
You
I forgot
didn't,
about
thank
Credits
God.
Gate. Forgot
Good.
about
Don't
Credits-
go
I'll
back
tell you
when
what.
I
Now
do-
this is your post live stream exclusive then, kids, because I forgot about it because it's important. On the only thing is that on the Disney Plus version, the director was listed first and then the producer, and that never happens. And there must be because it's like directors union. I think they say they are at the end. They are the last credit, and they were not the last credit. Tom Kingsley
As
was
Doctor
on the
Who's
last
over,
credit.
that's it. Again, the show's being canceled.
Yeah. So watch out for the unions. Watch out for the unions. Anyway, thank you very much, live stream. Hope you all enjoyed that. It did look like Search Out Science, Neil. I agree. People have said that, but as I look back through all the comments that we had, but
I don't even know what Search Out Science is.
it's a 1990 thing starring Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred, and it's on
okay.
the season 26 Blu-ray, and it looks weird. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. That's it for us, kids. Join us next time. We'll see what we do for live streams after this. For those of you in the UK, we'll see what happens at Christmas. It could be a pretty fraught time for live streams. We'll
Yeah, we'll see if Warren makes it to Edmonton or not.
that too.
Who knows? Who knows?
So there we go. Warren, when are you starting your cooking show? I'll give you the title. I'll give you the title for free. Fry with fry.
Well, it'd be an air fryer most of the time because my oven's
There we
on
go.
the fritz. So,
Air fryer.
Air fry with fry.
Air fryer. F-E. And
Air fryer spelled F-R-E. Exactly. Yes.
Exactly, and it will stop
that
people
works.
from
Yep.
calling you,
works too.
calling you Warren Frey, which is
No,
occasionally happens.
nothing will
Or
stop that
Freyberg.
from happening. My dad is
Freyberg.
81. People still call him Dick Frey. So
Dick Frey. Way to dox your dad there.
Yeah.
nobody cares.
Way to call him.
My dad's not on the internet barely. Like if you want to get to him via the Globe Mail subscription he has, then you go for right ahead. But other than that, you're not
Way
going
to
to find him on
call-
social media because he's smart.
Way to call a geriatric man Dick.
You forget about the fact his name is Richard, which you well know.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Anyway,
All right. On that note, goodbye, live stream.
yes.